Hi guys, I'm Niels. Welcome to my Logic Tips and Tricks series. Today I want to show you one of my favorite features in Logic and talk a little bit about the ins and outs of Quick Swipe. So what is Quick Swipe? Quick Swipe is a great way to comp different takes together. Usually it's involved cutting up pieces and making crossfades and all that. Logic makes it totally easy for you. For instance, if you look at several files, you can just click the left mouse button, swipe over an area to select it to be played, and then you can easily click on another area to compare the different takes at the same timeline. Now, for that to work, you need to make sure it's enabled, and this would be on the settings, recording. On the recording settings, create take folder should be selected. This will create a folder when you keep recording either in cycle or in regular straight ahead recording mode, and it will basically not erase the take that's there, but create another take underneath here. Get this folder of all your different takes. Now it is available in MIDI, but it doesn't really work in MIDI. In MIDI you can switch back between the different takes, but not individual licks. It's only the whole take switches. So it's an audio feature. It doesn't really work with MIDI that well. But for audio, it's absolutely brilliant. It's the quickest way. Let me show you on an example. I have a track right here, a song where I recorded 4 guitar takes, and I want to comp them together. So let's see what we got here. So this was a little anemic here, that little lick around here. Let me hear this as comparison. Yeah, see, that was, let me zoom in a little bit, it's easier to see. So this one is definitely the best. And I easily, just by clicking on it, I can compare the different takes. Swiping requires me just to swipe with the mouse over a certain region and that will become active. So whatever is colored is active and the grayed out parts are inactive. So I can easily put my comp together without having to cut. Yeah, all very nice here. And the nice thing is that if there's a certain lick that I'm interested in, like for instance, like the start of this, the transition into the chorus. So we have this version. It's not bad. What's the other one doing? I don't like that one. I messed up on that. Definitely the nicest one. But there's a couple other things I want to show you real quick. For instance, I think it was somewhere over here, if I remember this right. Yeah, I kind of like that melody. Yeah, I like the note going up. So I want to use this melody over here. So you can do this too. You just need to switch click on this little thing and switch it over to the scissors tool. And then you cut it with scissors or the marquee. I like using the marquee tool. And you grab this puppy, pull it over. It's exactly 12 bars. You can zoom in a little bit to fine tune that edit. Yeah, make sure I'm grabbing the beginning of the note. Yeah, and then also at the end of this. Yeah, it looks good. And then go back to the swipe. Make sure you get the attack. And then here would be back on my other take. So we have. actually like this take the best. All right, so that's one way. You can move stuff left and right. You just need to switch to the scissor tool. Another situation you might encounter is that you have an additional guitar take that's outside of the take folder and you want to use it with quick swipe within the take folder. So that's also possible to do, and I'll show you right now. For instance, here's a guitar double. You just need to make sure that your drag option is set to overlap, not any of the others. And then you can just take this body, drag it over here, and see there's a new I want this, like I said. Yeah, and it works beautifully. Logic creates crossfades for you automatically, so it's great. It's a great way to really quick compare different takes. Now, when it gets a little bit more complicated, let me see. I have something at the end where I freely improvise, and I want to kind of put a solo together, right? Let me see what we got here. Maybe here at the so what do I have on this take? Let's say I wanted to switch from this over to this part of the solo, but I don't want to have this pickup is bad and this extra notes hanging over. So one thing you can do, what I do sometimes, is just punch in, record. Don't even have to be too tight. And I create a little blank area. Now when I go back to quick swiping, I can drag this over here, I can drag this over here, and use the little empty space of my punch-in. And then one last thing, this also works in multi-track mode. It doesn't have to be just one track. You can do several tracks. One, for instance, in the case of a drum recording, right? We have tom, hi-hat, snare, kick drum, all these different instruments, but I want to edit them together. So once I have them all in take folders, I can easily go from one take to the other. If I open them all up, see if I go over here, it gets reflected in all the other takes. In order to do this, you need though to make sure that they're all here linked in a group. I'll show you this real quick. I created a drum group, and if you look at the drums, at the settings of this group, you will show that editing and quantized lock audio are checked. So these two needs to be checked, and then the quick swipe will work parallel with all your drum tracks. One note of caution: you don't want to cut up the drums before you do this. You want to, ideally, it works best if it's one solid file. You see, for instance, down here, I already cut out spaces, kind of gated my toms by eliminating the part in between. But if you now look what happens when I use quick swipe, the toms is on the first track. And if I go here to the fourth track, everybody's on the fourth track. Good, good, good. But if I get down to my toms, they didn't jump over to the fourth track because they were already disconnected. So it works best when they're all kind of same length, beginning and end. And this way you can edit that first to the swiping first to compare the takes. And then if you want to do further cutting, do it afterwards. Okay, so try it out and have some fun with that. I will be back in a couple of weeks with another episode, more tricks for you to come. I will put these out on a continuous basis. That's at least what I have in mind. So check back, subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, any other comments, please leave it below and I'll be happy to answer the questions. Maybe I'll bring it up in another episode.